All right. Did not get to the extra bonus piece in the last video at the end, so I'm just going to start out this video with that. And in one of the other videos on books earlier, I brought up Charles Brewer. Okay. Now, Charles Brewer lives in Caracas, Venezuela, and there's a lot of different people that Hollywood and other people like that have said, oh, Indiana Jones was based on this guy. Oh, Indiana Jones was based on that guy. Let me tell you something. Indiana Jones was based on Charles Brewer, okay? And he's half English, and like I said, he lives in Caracas, Venezuela. And the guy was, for years, he was looking for the lost city of gold in the jungle. And he has many different species of insect and so on to his name that he discovered. But anyway, he also wrote a book on survival, which is in Spanish, and I don't have it. If you're going to ask me, I don't have it, but I know of it, but I don't have it. I tried to find it a lot of times over the years, but I could never find it. Some things come and go. Okay, now, what does all this have to do with anything? Well, I was talking about how I had seen him do a bow drill coal in 7 seconds. That's right, 7 seconds. So, this guy really, he knows bushcraft and survival like nobody's business, you know, especially pertaining to, of course, the jungle, right? Because he spent a lot of time with the Yacuana down there, and you know, he said that when he started out in the jungle and was with the Yacuana people, that he felt totally inept. And then when he finally felt like he was because he felt totally inept, and even though he felt like he had some skills, the Yacuana would tell him he was still like a boy in the jungle. Okay, and then as he went along, you know, more and more, he gained more and more bushcraft skills and whatnot, and finally, finally they said, "Now you're a man." So eventually, he became a man in the Yacuana, in the society of the Yacuana. Right? He became a man as far as his skill set was concerned, which obviously took a few years. So, again, what does this have to do with anything? Well, when I was young, I read all about this guy, okay, and then I ended up, I got a knife that he designed for people who were explorers and things like that, and the one that I got was the military version. Okay, so I got the military version in black, and I had it for a while. I can't remember how long I had it, but I had it for a good while. I used it a lot. I used it a great deal, and I used it for what it was designed to be used for. Okay, and it came with a harpoon attachment, and it came with a book, and I still have the book from the first knife, the black one, the military one. I still have it. And I read this book, okay, and used this book so much. I was in this book all the time, learning and learning about all kinds of things, using the knife as an inclinometer, and everything that this knife was designed to do, I was trying to learn how to do it, right? As I had spare time, right? You can't do it all in one day, and it's quite complicated. You know, you have to you have to have kind of a head for mathematics and some things here. You know, trigonometry and so on. But anyway, I wore the crap out of this book. As you can see, the cover came off, and I only have the front part. But I'm going to restore this. I'm gonna restore this. Now, I've only got 8 minutes and 45 seconds left. So I'm going to move on to the item, right? So this is from the original knife. I talked about this knife once before here on the channel. So, but I'm just going to talk about this knife now. So what it is, it's Charles Brewer's survival knife, the Explorer knife. On the end of this sheath is where you attach it for a wire cutter, and it does really cut wire. Okay, so I'll talk just a little bit about the sheath here real quick. So on my black one, you would open this up, and inside here, right now I have a sail needle. Okay, so I put a sail needle in there. Okay, on this one. But on the black one, it came with a steel, highly polished mirror with a hole in the center for signaling, because the knife was black, right? Anodized black. So anyway, it came with that. Doesn't come with this because this has a highly polished silver blade, right? And then underneath here is a stone to touch up the edge. Now this is kind of a little bit of a coarse stone, so I don't really use stones anymore. So I'm not planning on ever using that. But that's a little sharpening stone there. And then this was a piece to put around your leg. Alright, so it just kind of clipped together there. Now this is a Velcro connection. This knife was designed with the jungle in mind. So it has this glass polymer sheath, right? There, to keep this in view because I go over all the time. So it has this glass polymer sheath, right? So, you know, nothing to rot, okay? So polyester or nylon, other bits here, okay? So because in the jungle, you know, if it's leather, it's gonna not last nowhere near as long as you want it to, that's for sure. So it was designed to be used in the jungle, hence it has this aircraft aluminum handle, okay, and then there's a steel knuckle duster here, right, for hitting things, whether it's a person or an object, okay, right, just to protect your knuckles, right, because they say, oh, you could use this steel butt end as a hammer if you need to, right. It's got all kinds of stuff that it's been designed to be used for, right. So anyway, let me take this out. So here on the sheath, it has a tab that pulls out, okay, that pulls out, and you see this on a lot of knives that are made in Spain, right? So this knife is made in Spain, and so that comes apart, and then you put that on your belt or on webbing on your rucksack or whatnot. Push that back together and then slide that back in there. Alright, and then that all stays together. And I never had mine come apart. Okay. I've seen this old method on other stuff before too. Anyway, the polymer sheath is connected to that by some kind of steel rivets, stainless steel rivets or whatever. Okay. Now, with this one is considered the civilian version. I think it's 6.5 inches blade, and it's got the highly polished blade. So what you do is you look through this hole, which this hole is designed to be used for the wire cutter. So this knife goes on the wire cutter attachment on the end of the sheath, and you cut the wire with the back side of the knife on the spine, right? See what I'm saying? You don't use the edge of the knife. Now, there's a couple of different ones. There's one that says Explorer, and there's one that says Explora with an A at the end. Okay, that's just English and Spanish, right? This one has A on the end, Explora Survival. And it'll say Marto, Spain, patent, Brewer, okay? It'll say that there. Then it has the inclinometer there, okay? So you could sight along the spine of the knife. There's actually a gun sight here. Okay, you could sight along the spine of the knife. This helps you to see how tall mountains are and things like that, right? Obviously this is hollow, because in the 80s, hollow handled knives for survival were popular. But there were really only a handful that were actually any good, right? The rest of them were just kind of cheaply made knockoff knives. I put this in one of the top 5 survival knives of the early era of survival knives. This and the Ater survival knives, I think, are really the top 2 of the survival knives with hollow handles. Very secure, cold rolled steel pin here. It is isolated. This tang comes in and it fits like a jigsaw puzzle piece in there. It's not just stuck in there. And then they use some high strength aircraft epoxy, I believe, as well as that cold rolled steel pin. Okay, so it's got 3 methods. It might have more, but I know it's at least 3 methods to secure the blade into the hollow handle. This comes out, it unscrews. There's going to be a little compass in there, a button compass. You take the button compass out, and I showed in a video when I first started this channel back up, when I turned it back on, I showed doing a bow drill fire using the butt cap here as a support to hold my spindle. Okay, so that's like maybe the 3rd or the 5th video on this channel, from when I restarted the channel, turn it back on. Go watch that if you want. So here's the box, right? So it has a capsule that goes inside. The capsule, I just took it out because I'm not going to use it. Capsule's in here. It has all kinds of survival items in there. Morse code on the outside of the capsule. This is the harpoon attachment that goes where the hole is on the blade, and here is a brand new unused copy of that book. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that is the Charles Brewer Survival Knife. So I hope you enjoyed that little walk around of that knife. I thoroughly enjoyed using my first one in real world scenarios, right? And the saw on the back cuts like a dream. Cuts like a Swiss Army knife. Hope you enjoyed it. See you later.